Thank you for checking out the Media Marketing Podcast, a place where you can learn all things media and marketing related. Don't miss a beat in boosting your business and your brand. In each episode, you'll gain valuable insights, tools, and strategies to apply to your marketing efforts. And now your host, Brian Cargill.
All right. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me on the Media Marketing Podcast. I'm going to jump right into your intro and we're going to unpack a lot of good stuff. So thanks for joining me. So Ryan is a digital entrepreneur with a history of scaling and automating businesses, currently working with course creators, bloggers, and coaches to build, launch, and scale their membership website. Ryan, thank you for joining me on the podcast. How's your day going?
It's going very well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really looking forward to speaking to you as well. I know that we've had a couple of calls now and we've geeked out about a few things, not just digital, about NFL and other bits. So I think this is going to be a really cool chat.
Yeah, just to get people up to speed, you're my very first international guest on this podcast. So where are you tuning in from? What time is it for you? It's 9 a.m. over here.
So I'm tuning in from a city called Lincoln in the UK. It's probably about 2.5 hours drive north of London. I have to say that because most people know where London is and not many other places in the UK. And it is 8 minutes past 5 in the afternoon where I am. So yeah.
Wow. Solid work day today?
Today has been a really, really good day, actually. I started off by doing a 30-day post for people in my group to give them ideas to post in their groups. And then I got some really good feedback. So then I started building out for the year. So giving them ideas for posts every single day. And then spoke to a couple of clients on the phone and prospective clients. And then, now I'm looking forward to finishing my day with you.
That's awesome. Yeah, as am I. Well, that's great. So you're always working on processes, always, changing and developing things. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about your business. I know you've kind of transitioned or morphed things as I was looking through your LinkedIn over the last couple of years. So maybe you can just get people up to speed what you do and kind of how do you help your clients?
Yeah, so you're right. I've morphed. It's been really strange. A lot of the things I've done have led me to where I am now. So right now I help my clients build, launch and scale their membership websites. And that comes in the form of me helping them with their offering, finding out everything that they need to build that website, and then everything they need to launch it, and then everything they need to scale it. And then I'm a tech geek as well. So I look at trying to automate processes for them as well when they get to sort of that scaling level and give them the freedom that they want. That's the reason why people do a recurring revenue model. You know, they want freedom in their lives, they want freedom in their business. So that's where I come in. So I've been doing this sort of for like 10 years now. It's just been crazy and it's flown by. So yeah,
I can only imagine. I guess so. Maybe like unpacking the website, and then I'd like to talk about automation at some point. So what makes kind of the websites that you work on different than some of the other websites that are out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the fact that I spend a lot of time getting to know the client, and I don't just sort of delve in and go, this is what will fix your problem. But a lot of the time, people already know the answer to their problem. They just need somebody like me to say, okay, yeah, well, I wouldn't do it that way. Experience tells me that wouldn't work. Do it this way. And also, I do a lot of done for you and a lot of done with you. So I will actually really unpack all of those problems with you, and you will have me to help you. So instead of just going, I've got a problem, here's a stock answer, I'll actually look at your problem and break it down a little bit and then go, right, okay, how can I do that with you, or how can I do it for you? Just to help people, because I don't want people to be stuck. I want them to get unstuck and feel like they never have to start again.
Wow, that's just great. And I can already tell, Ryan, like right away, like you're very personable, and yeah, you're trying to understand, being very empathetic and putting yourself in the client's shoe and understand where they're coming from. And I think that's great. It sounds like you kind of guide them along the way while they're going through this process and help them avoid minefields, I guess, out there, keeping people on the right path and not making the similar mistakes or the possible mistakes that are out there.
Yeah, 100%. I think, when you realize that as a service provider or an information service provider, you're not actually the hero, the customer is. It just, they're paying you for a solution to a problem. They've got a problem. You can help them with that problem. You're not the hero. You don't need to be the hero. They're the hero. You just need to guide them along the way. I always say that, I'm like Yoda and they're Skywalker. A bit of a Star Wars geek though, and I'm just guiding them along.
Definitely. No, I love that analogy. And yeah, you have to pull out the lightsaber skills at some point. But that's kind of what you are. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you do is like this Jedi ability that you're able to take people to the next level. That's awesome. And so, yeah, custom approach. And then talking about automation, it sounded like you were improving some systems today. My understanding of automation is that you kind of identify your whole system, every little thing that you're doing, and then you're figuring out, okay, what can I offload to AI or to a computer or to somebody else, another person to do it. Is that am I getting that understanding correct?
Yeah, that is the absolute best way of looking at it. I think a lot of people are worried about automation and worried about AI and all that kind of stuff. And I really don't think you need to be. I think in every job, if you think about, or every role that you're doing or wherever it is, if you think about the things that only you can do, and that comes from, I got a really cool little exercise for that. So for everybody listening, if they're, I'm stuck about what to automate or what to outsource, just grab a piece of paper, grab a Trello board or an Asana, whatever you do, and start writing. Just put some headings, put daily, weekly, monthly, and start putting down everything you do daily in the daily column, everything you do weekly in the weekly column, and then everything you do monthly in the monthly column. And then from there, start to bucket those into departments. So accounts, marketing, outreach, whatever it may be. Every single business has different departments, even if it's just you as a one-man band. And then start color coding them as well on, do you actually like doing them? Is that the best use of your time? Can you get somebody else to do that? Do they make you the money that you should be making? If you're stuck doing admin and that's taken up 3 sales calls, well, wouldn't it be better to get somebody to do the admin and then you can convert more on the sales? So that's how I would start with all of your processes. And then once you've got that, you can start to outsource the ones you don't like and the ones that actually just aren't cost efficient for you. And then look at what I also like to say there as well is write down the technology or the app that you're using. So think about why you use it. So think about, am I using Asana? Okay, that's the next step for me to use Asana, and then connect those dots up so that actually you can start to see, okay, I'm using that for that, and then what's the goal and what's the trigger for that action as well. So do I get a phone call and then I have to delve into put it into the CRM system? Okay, etc., etc. So try and think about the triggers that cause you to do that task, because then when you know that and you know the software that you're using, then you can start to look at, okay, we can start getting some of these tools to talk to each other and then build that out that way.
Wow. That's that's pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, definitely for the audience out there to write down those different buckets and what are you doing all the time. Is there something that you see that's pretty common? And it sounds like your work is pretty holistic, that you'll look at a business from all aspects, operational. So is there any like kind of small tasks that you see a lot of people doing over and over again that could be automated?
Oh man, yeah. Usually it's like invoicing or it's replying to emails like customer support. They're the sort of 2 ones that a lot of people come to me with. Or like data entry. And I'm just like, yeah, that will drive you crazy. You can get somebody to do that for you. And it's really strange, actually. I was chatting to a lady about this, and it was on a coaching call, and she said, "Oh, I hate doing my invoicing. Like I hate doing it, but I just can't give it away." And I said, "Why can't you give it away?" And she was like, and I sort of already knew the answer, that she didn't trust somebody else to do it. She didn't think that they could do it as well as she could. And then she said that she's like, "Oh, because it varies. It varies what I'm going to charge my clients every month, depending on the hours that they've had with me. I was like, all right, okay, cool. So why are you worried? Oh, well, I'm worried if they get it wrong. So I said, well, have you ever got it wrong? Yeah. Well, there you go then. If you've got it wrong, someone else could get it wrong. But it's just about, they're usually the ones. But there's so many. So even like coming up with content ideas, or going through and analyzing your competitors, or coming up with content ideas in terms of what's working for competitors, what's the SEO looking like. They're some of the things that you can get outsourced for so cheap that it would take you so long to get good at that when somebody else is already out there. And we're talking like $3 to $8 an hour to get somebody good doing that.
Wow. So they'll go out and do like kind of an audit of your the marketplace essentially, and see what the competitors are doing, and give you research analysis with some some nice visuals to give you some ideas on what you should be doing with your own business, and how you can capitalize on different things that aren't happening in the market.
Yep, 100%.
A big thank you to our sponsors over at songtub.com. That's right, song or music and a tub, like a bath, but more fun to say. Tub. Anyway, you can check out Songtub's website for any of your music needs. In fact, the song playing in the background right now is from Songtub. So why pick them over anyone else? Well, they curate the music. And I know the guys, so that means I know that they're selecting great music for your project. A lot of other companies will brag about how many songs they have, maybe 100,000, 200,000, maybe even 1 million. But honestly, I don't have time for that. I don't have the time to just sit down and go next, a song not so great, trying to figure out where the best music is. Songtub.com, great place to get your music. And now I'm excited to offer you the first month for free if you go to songtub.com/pro, PRO, and we have a promo code for you. Yes, that's right, my name, your host, Brian, Bryan, and that will give you your first month free to have access to a huge music library that you can use towards your next video project, podcast, or any of your general audio needs. Anyway, back to the show. You kind of mentioned there, like you would hire somebody else to do that. Are there, what approach do you normally take? Do you say, hey, we're going to try to find a software that solves this problem. We're going to try to find a person that solves this problem. Or how do you go about trying to figure out what's the best solution for each individual for whatever their problem might be?
Yeah, fantastic question. So what I will do there is I will look at, with my team, if one of them brings it up or it's me, we'll try and find sort of like 3 to 5 pieces of software that can do that and that can do that job. And then we will then look at going, okay, actually, this isn't a job that a piece of software can do. So then we'll go out and find a person to do that. So we'll look at, what does this job entail? Does this involve thinking, or is it repetitive? If it involves thinking, we won't even bother looking at the software. We'll just go, no, we'll get a human straight away on that. And then usually we know sort of a few of the skills that we're looking for. But if it doesn't involve thinking and it's just a repetitive task, then we'll look at software. Then I'll look at 3 to 5 pieces of software that do that task, and I'll look at the pros and cons of that. And then as a team, we'll discuss that, and then we'll see which one we like best. Usually for me, I prefer, if I'm getting software, if I can buy a lifetime license, I will, if I'm going to use it for a lifetime, just because I don't really want to keep adding to my operating expenses every single month. If I can pay one off and it will do something. But then again, I need to justify it to myself. So then I will go, okay, so if I'm paying one off, is there another piece of software out there that can do the same thing? And I will find another piece, or keep searching until I find a piece that does what I'm looking for. So I'll look at like AppSumo and a few places like that. If I can't find it, then I'll go ahead and do that, get the software. But yeah, that's sort of my process. It sort of flows down from, do we need somebody to be able to think about this, or do we not? And then if we think about it, then we go to websites like Upwork, we go to Fiverr, I go to People Per Hour and Cloud Peeps, and I'll start to sort of look for people to do that job for me. And if anyone listening is doing that and you are using Upwork and People Per Hour, just a little tip, make sure that you set the job to private and you invite only, because if not, what will happen is you will get these people who haven't got a current position or they've got more free time, and they will just hound you. You'll get so many applications inside of your inbox that you'll just be going, oh, I can't even sort through these, and you just won't do it. So set it to private and then you screen for people.
Wow, that tip right there would have saved me a lot of headache too, because that's exactly what happened to me. And I got inundated with so many, and then now you've created a new task for yourself of vetting people.
Yeah, and there's so many of them as well, isn't there? And you don't know, you just, because there's so many, you just go, I'm not even going to bother doing that.
Exactly, because because then it becomes like kind of a management thing. It's another thing to manage, and so I think that's a great tip, giving that functionality, so that way you're privately vetting people and really making sure that you're getting the best, or getting the feelers out to the best. So I guess for a lot of our audience, it's some people that are just starting their business, maybe have been in business for a while, definitely are trying to beef up their marketing efforts. What would be a good point in someone's business to work with you? Because some people, when they're just starting out, they don't even know what needs to be done. And then it's usually through kind of trial and error of what's working. At least that's what I'm finding with my own business is, figuring out what's working and then replicating what's working. But it took me, I would say, a good 9 months to a year just to figure out what's going to work.
Yeah. So I have people at all different scales, which is why I've broken it down into a build, launch, and scale. So I can take you, if you're very, very new, I can take you from the build to the launch to the scale. If you've already got a membership and you want to do another launch, then I can do the launch with you. And if you've got a membership and you just go in, and if you've got a membership and you're going, I just need more sales, and you want to scale it, usually you don't actually need more sales. We need to look at retention first, because it's easier to retain members than it is to get new ones in the door, because you've already made the sale. So yeah, if you're just starting out and you're thinking, I want a recurring revenue model business, then, and you've got some information that you want to share and you really want to serve your customers, then great, I can work with you. Or if you've already got a membership and you're going, I really need to scale this membership, then again, I can get deep, I can get in the trenches with you, and we can really get deep and sort of break apart your membership and see what you're doing, why you're losing members, which is why I broke it down into that sort of 3 stages, really.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And that's really easy for people to wrap their heads around and think about what stage are they at with their own business. So the membership mastery, maybe you can help me understand kind of the different types of membership sites that are out there. Cause I'm still, I know what I subscribe to. Do you consider, like, is Netflix a membership site, or is it something different where it's more of you have a community and maybe you're producing some training materials, or is it all?
Yeah, I mean, they're usually sort of broken down into a couple of categories. So you will have the physical memberships for a start. So there'll be physical memberships where you go to a gym or you pay access to a tennis club or something like that. That is a physical membership. And then there'll be included in that is some of the box memberships that you see. So people sign up for like Harry's Razors or like skincare now. And these memberships are getting more and more popular because people are used to paying for these kind of things. I mean, Netflix, Spotify have done a great job for anybody online because you're now used to paying for your membership that way. So that's one type of membership, the physical membership. Then another type is the information membership, where you're paying for information, which is where your Spotify comes in a little bit. You're paying to have access to something, to a community, or you're paying to learn something. So that's sort of how I break the different types of membership down. And then inside of those memberships, you can put a whole host of things. There's so many things that you can put inside of a membership. You've just got to realize where your customer is and where you want to get them to, and then map that out along the way.
Yeah, thank you for kind of breaking that all down. And I think the membership sites are pretty powerful. And like you've already mentioned, I mean, it's a recurring revenue model. What do you think holds people back from wanting to like create a membership site? Is it just not having the idea? do you help people come up with the idea for whatever it is that they want, or how far along should someone have something mapped out? Or I would imagine they'd say, hey Ryan, I don't even know what I want to start, and can you help someone that doesn't even know what they want to start? Or would you say like, hey, maybe have a rough model of what you think might work, and then they can run it by you, and you can actually tell them if it has a chance to fly or not. Whereas sometimes as an entrepreneur, if you go out and just do this on your own and make something, and the adage of build it and they will come doesn't really apply in the online marketplaces, I have found, and I think a lot of other people find out the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, I have people at all different stages. Like people that go, I think I want a membership, but I haven't got a clue what to do. And then obviously they have a whole different sort of problems that they've got to get over. So it's, who do I even serve? What's the problem of my customer? How do I create my content? What tech do I even need to use? And like then they have a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes. But then even as they move along, and they've got these ideas about a membership, they still have these problems. The only thing that changes is they sort of get rid of, they know who they're targeting and they sort of know what they want to put inside of a membership. Now that they're just procrastinating on the tech, tech when it comes to membership confuses so many people, and it holds people back because there's so many different options out there. When actually you just probably be better off just doing like a free Facebook group or a Facebook group to get started with a landing page, where you just put your offer on. But yeah, I mean, I will work with you at whatever stage you're at. I can help you with the who, so who you're going to target. I can help you with the what the problem is, the what you put inside of your membership as well, and then the tech. And that's probably where everybody in the build stage is stuck. They're struggling with who they're going to target, what they can actually solve, what they can put inside of the membership, and then the tech. Then when you're launching, you're thinking about, oh gosh, how am I even going to get any leads? How am I going to get people into this membership? Do I have a beta launch? How do I do that? And then that's where I come in. I've got email templates I can give you. I've got sales page templates I can give you. And then I've got free launch training for absolutely anybody as well. If you go to the website, if you go to the membershipmastery.com/launch, I've got a free over my shoulder training that will take you all the way from not knowing what to do all the way up to launching your membership. And then when you're launched, then we just show you how to scale that membership. But when you're launching, we'll go into the marketing as well to help you out there. Because that's one of the things that people struggle with, and they really don't need to.
Definitely. That's really cool. And yeah, as a follow-up, everyone, go check out membershipmastery.com/launch/launch. I'll also put that in the show notes, but that's really helpful for people. And so this is the Media Marketing Podcast. And so would you say that from your what you found, when people add video to their marketing efforts, or when people add a video training course, have you seen these types of assets do well?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, video at the minute is on fire, isn't it? And I think that's one of the good things about the coronavirus, the COVID-19 situation, is that people don't seem to be as scared about doing video anymore, because they've seen some of these amazing people that they hold in such high regard, and they have really polished videos usually, but now they're just having videos like just sat in their front room, and their kid is coming in and going, "Mum, can I have a biscuit?" And the mum's like, "Hang on, go away, I'm just on a call." And then the kid's like, "Mum, can I have 2 biscuits?" And the mum's like, "Yes, you can have 2 biscuits, just go away." And I think that's helped. That's in a really popular video in the UK with some news reporter. So I think that's helped people go, "Oh, actually, do you know what? Your video doesn't have to be perfect." And video just works really well. It gets your personality across. People can see you and they can engage with you. And it is so much easier and easier to create content as well. So yeah, video is massive, and I love using video.
Thank you. Well, I think it's great. I love that story of explaining, like, yeah, the there are things that are gonna happen. I mean, now you have a camera pointing in your own home, and if you have kids running around, you know, they don't care, about the audio quality of your, production. So, no, I think it is giving us a new lens. And what I've been telling people is, yeah, some of them do have a polished video, or it used to be you had your one commercial that was showcasing you, and now you have all different types of videos. You have, some of the best performing videos I've seen are just someone holding it up and talking into the camera, just into their iPhone. So that's
Don't you
pretty
think that's
cool.
the beautiful thing as well about where we are now? Probably everybody's got a piece of software that they might even be watching this on, they might be listening to this on, that is good enough to create really good video as well. So you literally got no excuse. You could hit record and do a video on your phone straight away.
Exactly. Yeah, which is what, what's great about this is, we're recording this conversation, and then like the folks filming on their cell phones at home, you have it, and then it's kind of this timestamp in time. We're gonna remember, this day in July, 2020 for years to come, and things are gonna change, and it'll be cool to like kind of have that to reflect back on. And it's just one more asset of the many different assets that you can build out as a someone that's trying to promote your product, your training course, your membership site, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you mentioned kind of outsourcing email, which is I like the story that you had for kind of the woman who is afraid of invoicing because she was afraid it's done wrong. Are people, when they are outsourcing email, do they have, there's email marketing, but do you have people outsourcing like their actual personal inbox, like who they're talking to? Do you have a VA help them with that process, maybe drafting emails, and then, they have a review and before sending off? But I'm just fascinated. Maybe you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, I mean, I do that myself. So email is, I just don't like it. It's, my grammar is horrendous anyway. So my VA will go into my emails and she will go through them. And I started out years ago doing this. And what I found was I did exactly what you said. So every email, she wrote a draft email reply to, or she would put some in Slack as well. And then I would say, yes, you can send that. No, you can't send that. Just change this, this, and this. And then, or what she did is she just learned and learned and learned, and she got better and better and better. And I mean, a lot of the emails that you get are very, very similar. So sometimes they don't actually need a full-on response from you. It might just be a customer support problem where somebody can't log into your website, or they might want to reach out to you to come on a podcast or whatever it may be. So having a VA do that is so good for you, so beneficial. So yeah, just do exactly that. Get your VA on Slack as well if you use Slack, if you don't want to do the whole drafts thing. And then if she is struggling or he is struggling with something, they can just have a channel on Slack where they can send you a message and say, hey, Ryan, this is what the email says. This is how I'm thinking of replying. Is this okay? Yes, no, just change that. And then one of the things that I do for my own emails is I will use Loom for a lot of my email responses, because it goes back to that video again. I can get my personality across inside of the video. And for me, jumping on Loom, there's a really good Chrome extension for it. So you can turn it onto your Chrome. As soon as you finish the video, it automatically copies the link to that video on your clipboard. So you don't even need to go to that video. It's already on your clipboard. You can just press Command and V inside of the email and just go, hey, I wrote you an email. I did you a video reply. Hope you like it. Here's the video. Command and V, done. Send it off. And it's so much better for your customers as well. If they see you, and I've noticed this as well, like a lot of the things that I'm talking about can be quite complex sometimes. So for me to try and break that down as a big text, it's just horrible. And it's just going to take so long, where I know in my mind, if I just hit record, I can get it first time. And I can explain the problem better, and they get to see me. They get to see my body language. They get to see and hear me talk as well. So it's just better for the customer as well. So yeah, I mean, just look at the best use of email for you.
Yeah, I think that's huge because, yeah, it's like an interactive email, but it's also strengthening that relationship with the customer because, yeah, they get to see that you're a person. And it's just, for some reason, I think when you're messaging, I think my camera cut out. I'm gonna switch over to this other one. But for some reason, yeah, when it's on, behind the seeing something in text just leaves so much for interpretation. And as people that are, looking at body language all the time to be able to analyze and navigate the world, just being able to see someone through the camera can make quite a big difference. I think a lot of people are kind of hesitant or fearful. I'm fortunate. I think both of us are fortunate that we have good speaking ability and are able to be on camera. But I don't know. A lot of people are afraid of, or at least the older generation from the conversations I've had, are afraid of like the permanency of video. But I don't know, maybe you have a similar recommendation, but I say to people is like, hey, you're sending this to a client, but it's not going to be the one video that they see. You're going to send lots of videos to them and have lots of correspondence. And so, yeah, if you look at it in the context of one little thing, yeah, it's going to be there for a long time. But if you think about all the conversations, all the things that you're going to speak with them, that's all going to be there for the next, however many odd years. And we're now in the digital space where, yeah, a lot of things are kind of recorded. They're out there, and we now have these digital personas.
Yeah, and you're building relationships with your customers that you want to last a long time. So, spending that time to do the video, yes, it's going to last forever, but that customer and you are going to have hopefully a long-standing relationship. So, I wouldn't be fearful of it. And if you don't want to do video because you're fearful of jumping on camera and saying or doing the wrong thing, you could just do audio. You could hit record on an audio and just send them an audio like voice message of you, which again works really, really well. But yeah, I mean, just picking up on your point that, writing an email and talking about something complex, you can end up going back and forth on that. Whereas with a video, you can probably spend the same amount of time as you would writing an email response, but you can get so detailed so much quicker and so much better, and you can really answer the problem. And I would advise to everybody as well doing this as well, when you are finishing your video, just say to the person, does that help? What was most useful for you? The what was most useful for you question is really, really good, because what it does is it tells you what was most useful for the person that you're helping. So you might answer there because, we want to serve. You ask a question, I want to give you everything I've got, but actually that's not always the best. So what will then happen is, like I said, we get a lot of emails that are very, very similar. So what was most useful for you on that problem? You tell me that. And then next time I answer somebody else's problem, I'm probably going to go straight to that and just keep it short. And then they get a faster answer. They enjoy a better standard of life. Everybody wants to increase their status, move away from pain, move towards pleasure. And that's what you're helping them do.
A cactus knows how to survive. It can endure scorching heat, limited rainfall, and defends itself against critters daily. Your business is no different. To survive harsh conditions, it's important to develop deep roots using media content that'll continuously nourish and support your marketing efforts day after day. Tactus Media is here to help you determine a strategy and create media content. Together, let's map out the next sequence of videos, podcasts, and social media to help your business thrive. Work with Tactus Media. Media tactics that stick. Ouch! Visit tactusmedia.com to learn more.
Well put. That's awesome, Ryan. I think I hope a lot of people on the podcast reach out to you directly for help, because I think you're a good guide, a good person that would not make someone feel bad about their situation, because I think some people are maybe like, oh man, I'm so overwhelmed, I have all these things that are going on. And so for someone like yourself to come in with fresh set of eyes and really guide them and not make them feel bad about where they might be at, or where all the challenges, because
oh man, I know. I built a whole business off that one question, off that one statement. I've got so alongside the membership mastery, I have a living, breathing membership, which I think is one of the best things ever, because it's living and breathing. It's real. It's a membership website. So everything I try in that, I can use and advise for my clients in the membership mastery. And that business was set up because I wanted a safe place for people to be able to go and ask questions. So it's got nothing to do with digital marketing or anything like that. It's to do with Betfair trading. But the one rule there is that no question is a daft question. And if any single person in that group vilifies, takes the mick, shoots you down for asking a bad question, I ban them. It's like, you're not allowed in anymore. You're gone. So what that does is that really harnesses that culture. But it reiterates to me as well that, me and you talk about digital marketing, we can talk at a really in-depth, complex level. Whereas if we were just starting out, we wouldn't be able to. But, you should help people at that level, because it reaffirms that for me and you. And to make that person not feel scared to ask that question, it's just nice. I want people to come away from dealing with me going, God, he's a nice guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, making people feel comfortable, and that's great that you've created a community. Yeah, because I think when we're all grown up, going in school, you're afraid to raise your hand, but now we're like in this digital space where everyone can raise their hand at the same time. But as long as there's not the bullies in the group, putting other people down and making them feel bad, because there's so much to know and so much that you think you might know that you don't know, and that's really powerful. You're able to share information with people in that community. So I had one question for you, Ryan. Some people are afraid of new technology and new apps and new platforms and new software. It seems that you've embraced that, and you're able to kind of adapt and analyze things pretty quickly, or you're not afraid to just get your feet wet with a new app. And where I'm really going with this is, do you have an approach to a new piece of software, or when you're analyzing whether you're going to use something personally? I don't know. That's kind of a muddled question. But.
Yeah, no, I've got you. So how do I sort of see through the marketing spiel, or how do I work out that I'm going to use an app and whether it's going to be beneficial for me? Yeah, I mean, I love technology anyway. I'm really, really curious. And I think that, we live in a world where technology is moving at such a speed that we're all creative. Gone are the days where you were creative because you was a good writer or a poet or a painter. Actually, by being involved in technology and having these discussions makes you creative. So that's the first thing I think you need to think about when you're dealing with technology, is actually you are creative and you are looking for solutions to problems that no computer or piece of tech will ever be able to do. And then from there, I just look at the benefit that piece of software is going to give me, and I break that down, and then I don't get too bogged down with finding everything out about that piece of technology for 6 months. I will set a timeline and a date on when I decide on whether we're using that piece of software. Saying yes or no to something is great, but you need a plan. So it's like, if I agree to come on the podcast with you and just say yes, that's great, but when? How is this going to happen? So I think if you are looking at using a piece of software in your business or a new app, give yourself a timeline, a deadline on when you're going to have made that decision by, and then do that decision. So that actually gives you a bit of urgency as well. If you say, oh, I'm thinking about using a website builder, right? Okay, well, when are you going to make your decision by? 2 weeks from now. Okay, what do you need to know to make your decision? Write those questions out and go and find that. So what has to happen for you to make that decision? Go off, find those things. And what you'll find by doing this process is you just get quicker and quicker and quicker at it. And then you'll end up just looking at a piece of software and going, yeah, I did it today. I went onto AppSumo because a friend of mine told me about some Restream tool that's on AppSumo at the minute. I'm looking to use Restream, and he said, this is the one you need. I looked at it, I analyzed it within about 30 seconds, just checked what it needed to do. It does everything I need. Done. But I'm not going to waste any more time, because what will happen is you'll procrastinate on choosing a piece of software, and you will think that by researching that for 6 months, you're making progress, when you're not. You could actually make that decision really quick, as long as you've done the foundation and the groundwork, and you know that you're going to use it and it is going to do what you want it to do, and then get back to working on building that business. So that's sort of how I do that.
That's awesome. That's great. That saves. I think that's huge for myself, thinking of a deadline and putting that in mind and saying, hey, we're making a decision and moving forward with it. Well, Ryan, this has been awesome. I think we've given people tons of little tidbits of information that they'll be able to apply directly into their business today. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to tell people about, some of the different projects that you're working on?
No, I think we've really gone all over loads of different things, and we've given some really cool information. And yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, they're more than happy to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to help them. Even if you've got a question and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to ask it because it might be a silly one, I guarantee it's not. I've probably asked more silly questions than anyone in the history of the world. But you know what? By asking questions is when you get the best responses and you learn more. So just get out there and ask questions.
That's great. Yeah. Continue to be curious, continue to find ways to improve your business in whatever capacity. How can people get in touch with you, Ryan? Facebook, LinkedIn?
Yeah, so they can search for me on Facebook. Just put Ryan Carruthers in, I will pop up. I've got a free Facebook group called Master Your Membership by the Membership Mastery. So if you search for that, it will pop up. If you want to go to LinkedIn, I've got LinkedIn as well, Ryan Carruthers. You'll see a picture of a tall guy with my wife as my photo. So you'll see that's a black and white photo of me looking longingly into the sunset. We had an engagement shoot, and that was one of my favorite photos from that. I'm not very much one of these like corporate headshotty type people, so yeah, I use that. And yeah,
it's a nice photo. I've seen it. No, and congrats on getting engaged. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so they're the best places to get me on, really.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, feel free to reach out with Ryan with any questions. And if you're looking at just, what are some of the first steps for people working with you? They reach out, and do you do like an audit of their processes? And forgive me if we talked about this at the very beginning of the podcast, but yeah, there's an audit. They can kind of ask you any question. Do you do kind of one-on-one consulting? Do you do group trainings for a whole team?
Yeah, so it's broken down into, I have lots of different offerings. So if you reach out to me, we'll see what you're after, what you want to do, and your budget. I think that's the key thing as well for a lot of people. Budget, well, for everyone, budget is so key. So if you want, then I have loads of free training. So if you want to get involved with the free training, then I'll point you to that. If you've done that and you want to spend a little bit of money, then I've got a course where you can build and launch your membership. And then I've got a membership on the back of that, which will show you how to scale your membership. And that is sort of live Q&As, and you get access to private coaching with me. And that is a really reasonable price as well. I think it's going out at $29.99 a month for the moment. And then I have a done for you and a done with you. So done with you, I sit down, very similar to a call like this, and I will break down everything. We'll break down absolutely everything that I need from you. And then I will turn around a plan for you that you can give to your team. So if you've got a team, you can give it to the team. If you haven't got a team and you want to do it yourself, that's fine. You can do it. I'll give you step by step everything that you need in the right order. And then if you go, do you know what, Ryan, I just want to pay you and your team build it for me and give it to me done, turnkey. Like I literally just want to turn up to the house, put my keys in, open the door, and all my furniture and everything be in the right place. Then we'll do that as well. So yeah, the best thing to do is just to reach out to me, and then we'll see where you are.
Wow. That's awesome. That's great. And then it seems like you've been able to provide value for whatever stage you are, and yeah, at whatever budget you have, you're able to meet someone and you have some free goodies in there. And yeah, Ryan, this has been awesome. This has been a true pleasure having you on the podcast. We've kept it pretty formal, but hopefully, the NFL does happen this year. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you said you're a Seahawks fan too, right?
Seahawks, yes.
So yeah, hopefully, Seattle is able to do it. But
let's hope so. I so hope so. I'd love to see them win another Super Bowl.
I know. I heard a rumor that Antonio Brown was practicing with Russell Wilson, but we'll see if it's actually true. But I was like, man, if those guys are able to connect, it would just be
who's going to stop them?
Yeah, they would be unstoppable for sure.
Definitely.
So cool, Ryan. Well, what do you have planned for the rest of the day?
So nothing too exciting now. I will go get some dinner, and I'll see the wife, and then probably do some shopping. So yeah, that'll be the evening today, and then I look forward. It's
still a personally productive day there. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is awesome. We'll do a formal goodbye on the podcast, and we can just stay on for a couple more minutes here. So. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone on the podcast. Check out Ryan's website, and all the information will be in the show notes.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much for having me.
I want to say a big thanks for tuning into the Media Marketing Podcast. Please subscribe to get notifications for new episodes, which are coming out every Thursday morning, or at least we're striving for that. Feel free to visit our Facebook page where you can like and join the media marketing community. This is a good resource for collaborating, sharing ideas with other media creators, marketers, and those just looking to build their network. So until next time.